do well. Welcome to Making It in Fashion, a conversation series brought to you by Indiana Fashion Foundation. And one of our missions is to secure the future of fashion. And so tonight we have a special takeover presentation to present to you that includes ages 10 to 17 who participated in our Imagine If Fashion Spring Camp. I'm super excited for you to hear about their presentations, but I also want to share some more about Indiana Fashion Foundation. So I am Denisha DeLange, founder and CEO, and Indiana Fashion Foundation is that bridge towards resources, opportunities, economic development, opportunities for innovative solutions for communities to connect. Indiana Fashion Foundation is about bringing the consumer, the creative, the local business, and then all of these ecosystems together to actually bring more awareness to Indiana and the fashion industry, because the fashion industry already exists in Indiana. And so it has been a really great road, but it's definitely had its challenges because, fashion still has to be seen as a viable industry in Indiana. So over the course of the last several months, we have been applying for grants and none of those grants came through. And we were like, you know what? We believe in the vision of helping to guide other creators and connect them to the world of fashion. And so we were able to launch the Imagine If program. And so we want you along this journey with us. We want you to engage with the kids as they present, because literally over the course of 3 days and during their spring break, these kids came together to actually form a business. I mean, they had an idea and was able to put it together in only 3 days. So what I want to do is I actually want to open it up so that you can see some behind the scenes and actually see some footage over the last 3 days.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Like I said that, it went live. Good morning, everybody. Don't laugh, DeLange.
Putting together your company, and I'm like, I know you're probably like, I'm going to do that in 3 days. Yeah, you are. You're going to do it in 3 days.
I have pretty much my entire business plan done. I just finished writing my resource lists, and then I'm about a little over halfway through with my presentation itself, and I also have my logo.
I moved to Indianapolis because of Indiana Fashion Foundation. I felt like they were a really good resource. There was a broader community for fashion with your organization, and it connected all the dots that I was kind of missing when I came back from the New York City area and moved back to Evansville, Indiana.
There are so many aspects that go into styling. There's so many different types of stylists. You have wardrobe stylists that focus more on editorial, which is my personal favorite and my kind of area of expertise. You have commercial styling, which is something that you would see on your favorite websites like ASOS or PacSun, Finish Line, where you see models in clothes that you can go to the store and actually buy. And then you have personal stylists, which is someone who's tailored to a particular person and kind of comes together, brings the ideas of what their kind of style preference is, helps push the envelope and get them to try something new. So you have that kind of stylist. As I mentioned, I'm an editorial stylist. And what an editorial stylist is we get to style magazines.
Indiana has quite the community here, which is really incredible of seeing the diversity. And I don't think a lot of people realize how diverse we have it here as of creatives, which is amazing. And it's so great too, because it's a really close-knit group as well. Like, everybody likes to help each other out, which is really good. Also, it's pretty, I feel like it's kind of obvious, but it's cheap here. So it's cheaper to have like a studio here or to be able to do stuff considerably comparatively to like living in New York and stuff. But also, you can still have that success. I feel like the success here is, if not easier and better here, because you're able to like actually grow more so. And there's like, with like New York and like bigger cities, there's always, you're like, oh, there's a lot of this competition, it's very expensive, blah 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 blah. Where here it's like you don't have to worry about AV and that kind of stuff. You could actually just focus on your craft.
I understand exactly where you are. I might not understand the different things that are going on in your life. However, I was literally a teenager when I started on my journey in the fashion industry, and there was not a lot of resources. The people I would reach out to were like, you're too young. What do you know about doing this, right? Like, you're not even serious, right? Or you need to go to school and learn more. But everything inside me was like, no, I want to be a designer. I want to do this, right? And so I started reading and learning about other people in the industry. Fern Malice was one person I had in my book. She's the creator of New York Fashion Week. The guys from FUBU. I wore FUBU all the time. I don't know if you've ever heard of FUBU, but you can definitely look them up. But they were a pioneer to me in the fashion industry. And I used other people that I would see as a way to start learning and developing. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to produce my own show. I'm going to help other people like me, because I started finding other people like me who wanted to do hair, makeup. They wanted to rap. They wanted to, be a designer. They wanted to, do braid hair. They wanted to do so many, sing, all these different, be a musician. And I said, okay, well, I'm just going to put together a show. And I had $250. And I asked my mom and my dad, and they were just like, okay, whatever you want to do. They didn't even understand it. I found a location in my neighborhood, and it was $250. And I rented that place and put together a show.
Mine is doing pretty well. I have all my prices down. I have what I have. I have my business format. I have my permit. I have all the business finances down. And then I also have my plan. And I also have my logo, and I have my business card because I really wanted to make a business card.
Indiana Fashion Foundation is about connecting the world of fashion, strengthening the industry of fashion. And tonight, you'll see how we're securing the future of fashion. As you can see, like even now, I got goosebumps because it's amazing seeing an idea be translated from idea to reality. Like you heard in the video, I started as a teenager. And so having these opportunities for kids at a young age can, one, help their parents understand more about the fashion industry and see the vast amount of opportunities within it. You don't have to just be a designer. There are so many different avenues and pathways. And so we are just excited to be able to present the Imagine If Spring Fashion Camp to you. And so again, like I talked about, fashion connects. And so in the fashion industry, Indiana already has that, right? We have social media managers, we have accounting, we have, designers and stylists and creative directors and business managers, and all of those people and more make up the fashion industry. And so I'm super excited to just introduce you to our next guest and speaker. She is the program coordinator for Imagine If. And again, an example of that is she's in education. She loves working with kids. And so being able to connect with her in her zone of genius and now match it with the fashion industry also is a testimony to how the fashion industry can just connect to every industry. And so right now I want to introduce Michelle, Indiana Fashion Foundation's Imagine If program coordinator.
Hi, Frank. Hi. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. So excited to be here.
Yes, I'm excited too. You did an amazing job. I mean, the kids did great. I'm super excited to hear the final presentations.
I am too. And it was so exciting to be connected with the Indiana Fashion Foundation. You know, I always tell people like, I like fashion. I love to see things. And even though I'm not in the fashion industry, just learning about the processes and being able to see how it works. And then watching the children, you know, watching the campers, watching the students, watching them, you know, go through their process. You know, and like you said, kids are my passion and families. So I just, it's so overwhelming. I love it. I'm really excited. I'm
Yes,
also excited to talk about the counselors at this Imaginators. So they're counselors, but we call them Imaginators because they were with the kids and they have their own vast experience and knowledge. And I'm really excited to talk about them and to meet them.
me too. I'm gonna do it so we can start the presentation. But
Thank you so
again.
much. Thank you, Delane. So everyone, listen, the kids had such a great opportunity to work with the Indiana Fashion Foundation and to those who are connected with the Indiana Fashion Foundation. The Imaginators themselves are their own artists, designers in their own right. And so they have their own companies and their own lines. And I'm really excited for everyone to get a chance to meet them. So I'm going to we had 3 of them. And so I'm going to bring them to the stage. The first person I'm going to bring to the stage is Emily, and I'm going to let Emily introduce herself.
Thank you.
Hi.
You 2 ladies are looking so stunning tonight. I just have to say that.
Well, thank you.
Wow, absolutely beautiful. My name is Emily Gartner. I have 2 aspects of my business. One side is Emily Gartner Designs, which are my own exclusive designs, and I usually do 1 to 2 collections a year. The second aspect of my business is teaching kids, teaching adults. And it is the teaching aspect of what I do is just one of my great loves. And I discovered that love a little bit later, but I just love the opportunity to work with students and bring them on board in the fashion industry. I am I am the oldest one in this group, and I started my fashion career in New York City, working for big companies that produce printed fabric and then also laces. But I went and started working at after that gig, because I had quite a few phases of this fashion industry. I started working for an art museum, Allentown Art Museum in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I was the assistant curator over 12,000 global textiles, which is just a priceless education in itself to be able to steward all those textiles and see things from all around the world and all around the globe was just an amazing, priceless experience. From that, finally started my own business and went full time and started doing all these art shows on the East Coast. And some of my high profile clients were several different members of the Rockefeller family. I've worked with a lot of producers of Broadway shows like Wicked, Kinky Boots, Hairspray. I've had amazing experiences, and I've loved them all for different reasons. But I currently share my studio with the other Imaginator, Jen Feltz, Tokyo Twiggy, here in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I just loved the fact that I have been able to connect with Indiana Fashion Foundation and working with the students. I absolutely love it, and absolutely, they've taught me these past 3 days. They're amazing, and I think I need to hire them for my website because I'm looking at some of their presentations, and I'm going, okay, I really need some help here. So thanks for having me here this weekend.
Oh, we're so glad that you came. We're so glad that you're here and listen. And we love your personality and your heart. You're so We're so glad that you brought your artistic abilities with you as well. We're so glad that the kids got a chance to meet with you. And also, I think some of us are going to be trying to come to you for some classes.
Yes.
We need to. I want to.
Come visit soon.
We are. Thank you, Emily.
Yeah.
See you. Guys, heart of gold, okay? So next, she mentioned Jen, and we're going to bring Jen to the stage. Hey, Jen.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I'm so excited to be here and to see all the students' presentations. You guys are going to be so amazed by such the talent that's here.
For sure.
So my name is Jen Phelps. My brand is called Tokyo Twiggy. So a little about me is I pretty much just started. I'm pretty new at it, but at the same time, it's not something I haven't been working towards. I've always wanted to do fashion. Probably I can't really think of how young I was, but since I was young, at least in my young teenage years. And I didn't, unfortunately, at the time have the support group that really would allow me to get into it. So it was really hard for me. Like my art was viewed as more of like a hobby. And I enjoyed it, but when it came to going to schools and stuff, I just wasn't happy. I was trying to do other things like graphic design, other things that kind of were art related, but still not what I wanted to do. And that wasn't fashion. And so it really wasn't until like 4 or 5 years ago that I was allowed to be like, well, you can just go to school wherever you want. Fine. The other ones haven't worked. Just do what you want. And I was like, well, I've always wanted to do fashion. And it's amazing really how things just lined up once I was doing what I've always wanted to do. So once I started following my passion, like everything just seemed to like fit in place, and I felt a lot happier. And pretty much right after I graduated with fashion design, I then applied to do the first annual Indiana Fashion Week for their emerging designer competition, which was an amazing experience to be able to meet other people, not just for like professionals from New York City, but just within our own community that I had no idea that we had. And so it was really great to do that. And I ended up winning the competition, which was a huge shock. And that kind of ended up like shooting me straight where I wanted to go, knowing that like, yeah, this is what I've been wanting to do. This is really what my passion is. So it was really great to be able to see that. And it's been amazing to be able to be around these young, talented creatives that have these great support groups who have families and friends and people and teachers that all like realize like, hey, this is what they want to do. Like, how can we help them get into these? And I love seeing that because these are like, they're our future in the creative world. And so it's really great to see such positive help from not just their own peers, but from their families as well.
Yes, definitely, Jen. And can you also just kind of speak for a few seconds on some of the opportunities that you've received from being involved with the Indiana Fashion Foundation and Indiana Fashion Week?
So with Indiana Fashion Week, I was able to go to New York City during New York Fashion Week and spend a day it was originally to have lunch with Fern Malice, the creator of New York Fashion Week, but then it ended up me spending the day with her, and she took me around to the Coterie, which is like a really big trade show in New York City, like VIP like tour, and I was like so crazy, but it was really great to be able to do that. And then shortly after, I was able to do New York Fashion Week and did several other shows across the country. And then I have Milan and London Fashion Week coming up this September, and also opening my own studio, and all of this only happening within 2 years. So it's been quite the ride, but it's really exciting.
It is exciting, Jen. We're so excited for you. And we're so glad that you got to be with us this week.
Me
Sky's
too.
the limit, you know?
Thank you guys. Yeah.
Yes. All right, Jen, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to bring our last Imaginator, and his name is Brian.
Hello. Hey, thanks for having me.
Glad you're here.
Thank you. So just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Brian. I'm a current senior fashion merchandising student at Ball State. I'm also a designer, and I'm interning for Indiana Fashion Foundation. One of my professors we had a dialogue about internships, and she brought up Indiana Fashion Foundation. So I looked it up and was just blown away. You know, I had no idea that we had this market here in Indiana. I talk to a lot of my classmates, and a lot of them say, the first thing they're going to New York or they're going to California and things like that. And knowing that we actually have this here is amazing. I actually started probably when I was 10 years old. I've always loved clothes, so I've always been kind of like a snob. So I, used to sketch and everything like that, and and something in the back of my mind was like, well, what are people going to say? And and that I don't know why I let that eat me up, but I ended up getting a degree in communications and went to another field. And it was always something missing. I always felt like something was missing. I always intended on doing fashion, but I was a little bit nervous.
Right.
So my circumstances changed, and I was like, okay, Brian, this is your time. Like if you haven't gotten a sign before, this is it. So I started at Ball State, and now I'm here, and I'm so appreciative to be working with Delang and everyone at Michael and Michelle, everyone at the Indiana Fashion Foundation. And imagine if these kids are so inspiring. I don't want to give anything away, but starting out, these kids have their target markets and everything, and they're just so driven and everything, and they want to change, and with all the craziness and everything going on in the world, and their passion, for change, for sustainability, diversity, inclusion, it's kind of refreshing, and it lets me know that we're going to be all right.
Yes, I agree. Yes, that's very good. I can't wait to see some of your designs.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Brian. We're so glad that you're with us this week.
Thank you.
You all, it's time for the presentations. We're really excited. Our creatives have worked hard and put their hearts into it. So they're going to show you their plans and what they've been working on. And then in the background or in their hands, they're going to show you some of their work or some of what they want to share with you tonight. So tonight, our first creative that we have is Jordan. Jordan is our youngest camper. And so we're excited to have her with us tonight. Jordan, hey.
Hello.
All right. Are you excited? You ready to show what you have for us?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The floor is yours.
Okay. Here is my creation. My creation is Gooey. It's where you have a really cool, well, it's basically my business. So here's some stuff about me. I am 10 years old and I want to become a famous designer and actress. I've acted since I was 5 and dancing since the age of 2. I'm making a company called Gooey, where you have comfortable, sleek, and fun wear. CSF. I thought of this because sometimes my clothes are uncomfortable and itchy, and this is a way you can fix it with Gooey. And here are some designs that I made. This is one of my favorites, and this is another of my favorite. And then here are some other designs I made. And here is my target. My customers are typically between 15 and 30. If your 16th birthday is coming up, and if you want to shop at Gooey, get Gooey's birthday selection, and you get an extra pair of glasses. So come to Gooey. My product is Gooey, a shop where you can buy comfortable clothing. I love comfortable clothing, and you don't worry about having latex and starch and uncomfortable seams. But now you can fix that. That Gooey is an online site where you can buy jackets, shoes, dresses, and hats and glasses. On the inside, it's either warm cotton or silk or sleek. And so go look it up. You will love it. Here is when my company started. Gooey started in 2021 and is still a work in progress. It definitely has different types of fabric. I will tell you about all the different types of fabric. The first fabric is satin, a nice satin cloud dress, comfortable for the inside and on the outside. And here's some stuff about Gooey. It's comfortable, sleek, and fun. Like I said earlier, CSF. All you need is Gooey, a comfortable wear, jackets, dresses, hats, and these are all comfortable, soft items. But when I wear my glasses, they hurt on the side. So now you have some nice soft covering over your spectacles. And for your dress, sometimes they can be uncomfortable with starch, latex, and by the seams. But now you can have cotton, silk, or satin, and lace to stay comfortable and warm. Here's the difference. Here is you without Gooey, and this is you now with Gooey. And here are two of the fabrics, and here is how they're made. Silk can be made of silkworm's cocoon like satin, and the protein in the bug makes the thread. And here's how satin is made. Satin is made of silk. Our first product. It's a long silk thread pulled from a silkworm's cocoon, and modern satin is made of polyester and rayon. And here is where I'll be having all my social media platforms and my advertisements: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, email, and YouTube. And my Instagram name is @JordanStarlight if you want to follow me. And these are my profits. And next. And thank you for listening to my slide. Thank you for my mom, my dad, my family, my friends, and Imagine IF hosts and speakers and teachers.
Jordan, you're speaking to me, girl. Listen, that's right up my alley. Comfortable, sleek, huh? And fun. What? That's for me, Jordan. I love it. We can't wait to see all that Gooey has for us. How do you feel?
I feel really good. I can't wait to make some skirts, some dresses, and some hats.
Right. Listen, we want all of it. Let me ask you this. And how do you think feeling comfortable in your clothing makes you feel overall?
It makes me feel soft, warm, and myself, and I can do whatever I want being comfortable.
That's right. You can do whatever you want, Jordan. We're with it. Thank you, Jordan, so much. And thank you to your family and your friends for sure. Thank you, Jordan. Guys, 10. Amazing, right? So glad she's here. So glad she's here. All right. So next, we have Brianna. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We're excited to see what you have for us. All right. We'll come back and talk after your presentation.
All right. My company is Brianna Knight's Dresses. I am Brianna Knight. A little more about me is I'm from Newburgh, Indiana. I am currently a sophomore in high school, and it is really important to me that everyone feels beautiful in their own skin. About Brianna Knight's Dresses. Our goal is to make young women feel empowered and beautiful in the dresses that they are wearing. Dresses range from a variety of colors to styles to sizes, made to fit all body types. Dresses can be worn for proms, winter formals, even for bridesmaid dresses, or just any formal event. Brianna Knight's Dresses give the option to look through dresses we have in stock, but we can also make custom dresses of your dreams. Our target market is teenagers to young adults. We will be advertising on social media, flyers and posters in public areas, and spreading the word by friends and family. Budget. We will pay for advertising on social media like Instagram. I would need a manager to help with advertising and also someone to help with the budgeting. To get my ideas started, I would need my budget to go to fabrics, new sewing machine, and iron supplies, as with online, website fees, and other fees like insurance. Thank you.
Thank you, Brianna. We're so excited. So everybody loves the chance to get fancy, right? I know I do. My daughter, I have a daughter, right? And she loves any given day to get fancy. So let me ask you this. You're young, you're exciting, you have, your peers. And so what do you think gives you an edge over some other designers when it comes to designing for your peers?
Well, I know kind of like what they're looking for since I'm also in that age group. And since we're all high schoolers, we know what it's like to go to a dance for high school and stuff.
Right. Okay. And do you want to explain anything about your dress in the background?
That's my first dress that I made. It's actually made out of old curtains that my family was going to give away, so they gave them to me.
See? And you knew exactly what you were cut out for, right? Use that creativity. We're so glad to see your style. Thank you, Brianna.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, so we have comfortable, we have fancy, we have so far. Listen, that's just the first two. So we have so many different avenues and so much diversity within our students, and this is exciting. So our next student, bringing us something different, is Emmeline. Hi. Listen, you guys see her fancy earrings, right? Okay,
yes.
we're gonna let her go for it.
Okay. Okay, so my business is M's Crochet Creations. So about me, Emmeline Hurston, I really like musicals, Taylor Swift, and K-pop, and I'm also interested in costume design. I'm a freshman in high school, and I like to compare my fashion sense to Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. So this was my inspiration. My business is a crochet business, so things that I crochet. So this is just some of my inspiration. Yeah. So what I will sell. Right now, the things I do most and the things that I'm most comfortable with and would want to sell is my earrings, which are flowers. You can see from these, and my hats, which are, they can be anything, but this is my favorite hat I've made so far. It's a frog hat. And I decided for pricing, the hats would be about $25 and the earrings would be about $15. So then my mission. I really want to promote sustainability by supporting other small businesses. So I get all my yarn, or most of my yarn, from the Mass Ave Knit Shop, which is another local business. And I would also like to possibly work with other yarn creators. I also want to support and make people of all genders feel comfortable with my pieces. So how would I do it? My budget of marketing. So I would sell on Depop, which is very similar to Etsy. People will sell old clothes they don't want, or just things they want to sell, very clothes oriented. But I went with Depop because the target audience of it is teenagers and young adults, and that's my target audience. And that is also why I would promote my brand on TikTok, Instagram, and Pinterest. So I would post about twice a week on Instagram and maybe once a week on TikTok. And then the things I post on Instagram, I would also post on Pinterest. And then I would buy from the Mass Ave Knit Shop and other local yarn sellers. It's on average about $15 for one ball. And for things like my earrings, it doesn't use that much yarn. I can make a lot of earrings with one ball of yarn. So, yeah. Thank you.
I love it. A new aspect, right? So who even, like, I didn't think about crochet earrings, and they're beautiful. They're gorgeous,
Thanks.
right? I love it. So this is the question I have for you about crochet, right? So how do you think, here's the thing. How did you get to crocheting or using crochet designs for your line? Let's do that one first.
Okay. So my grandma taught me to knit like 2 years ago, and then this summer I'd heard that you could crochet flower earrings, and I really like big funky earrings, and so I wanted to do that, but you can't exactly knit flowers. And so when I went I visited them in the summer, I asked my grandma to teach me to crochet, and she tried to, but she's right-handed and I'm left-handed, so it didn't really work out. So I ended up using YouTube. But the reason was because I wanted to learn how to make flowers, and now I've like mostly switched over to crochet from knitting. Yeah.
I love it. So you're like multi-talented. We get it. We love it. And what do you think people like when I think of crochet, I think of like warmth. What do you think of when you think of like knitting and crochet and your designs?
I think of fun. I think it's like with crocheting, you can do a lot of different shapes and there's just a lot of things you can do. Whereas I like knitting, but I kind of like crochet better just because I can do more with crochet and it's really fun. So yeah.
Yes, and look, and tell us about what you have in the background.
Okay, so this sweater is a sweater I made for my dad. It was kind of my first sweater. I had a sweater before that I didn't. We're not going to talk about that first sweater.
Okay.
No trial and error.
Okay, no first sweater.
I have 2 shirts that I've made that I wear all the time. They're just tank tops. And then that stuffed animal I have is wearing a cat sweater I made. I made it for my cat. And then I put it on her and she hated it. And so I put it on my stuffed animal. So yeah.
Listen, it's still being used, right? Okay. Yeah. So no first sweater talk and no cat sweaters.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Em. That is beautiful. We're so excited.
Thank you.
All right. I told you guys there's so many different levels and so many different avenues for the children. So our last artist is By Bree, and this is our funky little lady. Hey, girl.
Hi.
Hi. All right. We're excited to see what you have.
Okay. So basically this is like my inspiration and stuff, and like I'm very much inspired by like Corpse Husband and like like indie / alt stuff, and yeah. The core values of the business is called By Bree, is like that it would be like an LGBTQ plus friendly space. People can wear what they want and be whoever they want, and like that is just judgment free. The main logo is like a color wheel, and then BB standing for By Bree, and then the I because like it kind of like I draw it the I like every day, so it kind of just like kind of represents me in a way, and yeah. The things I can do is like design stuff, sorry, and draw and paint. Like I do that a lot. And things I can work on is like sewing, because like I don't know how to do that yet, but like I'm a fast learner, so, and having more time and space because my room is like kind of squished up because I have a lot of stuff. It's going to be marketed toward kids / teens because like I am a kid / teen in a sort of way. And it's going to be promoted on TikTok because I heard that like a lot of small businesses grow a lot on TikTok and it's really popular, so it would reach more people, and I will put posters like everywhere. The budget plan, I will have like 500 for a few sewing machines, maybe like 500 to fabric, 200 to a serger, 500 to an employee, just so I'm not doing everything by myself. My resources are Google, my art teacher, because she is the one who like recommended this program to me, my social studies teacher, because she's the one who got me into sewing, and my language teacher because she is like so supportive and nice, and then my another resource is my mom and some other people in my family, because like they my auntie, she knows how to like, she's an accountant, so she can like help me with like the budget and stuff. And my mom, she like, we've been planning for her to teach me how to sew, and she's just really supportive.
I love it. I love it. And I really love the fact that you are so focused on everyone being themselves and being free to be themselves. And why is that so important to you?
Because well, my mom, every time I like thank her for like letting me wear what I want to wear, because like I see a lot of people whose parents don't let them do that, and I just like feel really lucky because she always like helps me and like just lets me be me, because it's just a really nice thing to have.
Absolutely. That's great love and support. And do you think that makes a difference in how you interact with other people?
Yeah, because one of my friends, her parents are like really, really strict. So like just like what she wears, like she wears like a jacket and like jeans every single day. And she always says it's because her parents don't let her wear what she want to wear. And that's just really sad to me, because like if you can't express yourself, then like you can't really be yourself fully.
For sure. For sure. I love that you have that thought idea so young. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure everyone else is as impressed as I am. It's just amazing to watch them. I'm going to bring Delane back.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Catch my breath because they talked about budgeting, sustainability. They talked about delegation. I mean, they were doing like public speaking in front of who knows, on the internet web. And so them just being able to foster and develop in those skill sets at such a young age is just going to carry them so far in life. Yes. And so I'm just super excited that we were able to offer this, because this is a passion of mine and it's a shared dream. There's so many creators, makers. There's so many that fashion professionals that want to be a part of the industry and oftentimes may not even want to move or may want to move and connecting. But we give that opportunity and space for these kids and adults and those in, school to be able to thrive in the fashion industry. So thank you so much, Michelle.
We thank you for the idea. Thank you for the Indiana Fashion Foundation. You and I know Michael hasn't shown himself tonight, but you and Michael, you all have worked so hard to provide programming for Indiana, and I always tell people after Indiana Fashion Week in, was it 2019? 2019. That was the first one. Growing up in Indiana, who knew that there were so many avenues and so many people and so many creatives, and like you all are creating a space. And I just hope people really catch on to your vision and get involved. And also, this is the spring edition of camp. And it's our first one. It had to be virtual because of COVID, but the summer's coming. And we plan on full throttle camp for the summer.
Yeah, so go to indianafashionfoundation.org. That's indianafashionfoundation.org. Definitely go ahead and sign up for the mailing list. That way you'll be first to know once we release that information. Indiana has a vibrant community here. And, it's expected for 2025 that the industry is going to continue to grow in the, right now it's over a $2 billion industry. So it's like, why not invest in the fashion industry, invest in these creators, and then just connect the whole industry and allow Indiana to be a leader in that. So please consider making a donation. We have, in addition to Indiana Fashion Week, like she mentioned before, we also have our Entrepreneurs in Fashion cohort for adults who's interested in developing their business idea, in addition to Indiana Fashion for, Imagine If with the students. So we have a lot of opportunities. And so we just hope that you continue to just follow us, support us, and then just keep sharing it.
Absolutely. It's worth it. It's worth it. We need to do it. So let's bring everybody back.
Yeah.
So we can say our Miss Emily.
We're going to do a Brady Bunch style.
Right, that's what I feel like too.
Also, as you're watching, if you have any comments, questions, things like that, definitely put them in the comments. We'll go back after and ask and answer them. Also, we would love that feedback that you have.
Yes. All right. So thank you to everyone for coming tonight. Thank you to the campers. Thank you to the imaginators. Thank you to Delang and Michael. You guys, we did it. We did our 3 days. We had a great time. I hope you had a great time. I had a good time. Did you have a good time? Thumbs up? Yes?
Yeah.
So again, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. This presentation was literally put together. We had no funding, but we said, you know what? We're going to do this regardless. And that's how Mike and I, he's behind the scenes, as Michelle mentioned. We're about creating those opportunities because we see that they're here and they're needed for our creators. And so again, visit IndianaFashionFoundation.org. That's IndianaFashionFoundation.org. And we literally use Canva and AirMe as a platform to be able to get this to you. And I'm so excited about how it turned out. And again, we want to thank you for joining us for the spring edition of Imagine If Fashion Camp. Bye, everybody. Bye. Bye.